Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Combat Guide episode 6. I am KH.
And my name is Michael. Nice to meet you.
Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
So, what are we doing today, Michael?
Today we're going to go over the thaks, we're going to go over some basics, we're going to go over some variations, and in the end we're going to finish off with some combinations for you guys.
Awesome. Sounds cool. Yes, so we are going to show you the right cross, and let's just start with the basics. So, the right cross in boxing. If I'm in my boxing stance, I'm just going to show you the basic way to do the technique first. So, you want to always start your technique with your foot. I start by turning my whole body, and the last thing I actually do is to punch. So I turn my leg and foot over, and I transfer the power from here up to my hip, to my shoulder, and what I want to do is to get all my body weight from my right leg and transfer it over to my left leg, so I can land maximum power. Like my whole body weight I want to put into this punch, bam, and land it in my opponent's face. There was a name for this.
Kinetic linking is the scientific name of it.
What he said. So this is kind of how it will look like. And you don't often punch the right cross without the jab. So normally you would put it together with your jab. So if I'm doing my right cross, I could step forward and just do the cross, but if I'm moving forward to reach my opponent, it will be just as easy to combine it with the jab. So a couple of more things. I'm going to go over the stuff you don't want to do and the most common mistakes people do when they're doing their right cross. So a lot of the mistakes are the most common one that I see is that they punch with their arm, and then when you're only using your arm, first of all, you don't get the same power, and it's not precise. Bang! And the second thing is that a lot of people punch, and then they drop their hand, and then they go back. And in the meantime, he could have hit me with like 6 punches. Bang, 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 bang. Yeah. So just remember this as a general rule. You always want to go back the same way you came. Bam! So if I'm punching Michael with my right cross, it's from my guard, and I hit the target, and then I go straight back. This applies for everything. If I'm doing my left hook, I want to go back. If I'm doing my jab, I want to go back. So always remember to go back to your guard. Okay. Now, a lot of people also turn their body, but they forget to pivot, they forget to turn their foot. And this will kind of lock your hip into position where you can't get any more of your body weight with you into the punch. Because now when my foot is stuck, I can't get that whole momentum with me. If I'm turning, I can move it with me, you see? But if I'm stuck over here, I'm not getting my body weight over properly. The other mistake is the exact opposite. Some people, I'll do it like this first so you guys can see. Some people turn way too much. Now I'm off balance here. My foot is turned completely over. Yeah, exactly. So what I like to do is, you want to turn your foot, but you only want to turn it with the purpose of reaching what is in front of you. I want my foot to be aligned with my leg like this. Any more than that, and I'm kind of sending my power off in a different direction. I want my full power to go straight forward. Okay, a couple of more things. This happens a lot as well. See this? So if I punch Michael, let's do it from this side. I'm punching with my right cross, Yeah, or even like what I would do, like, can you, okay, let's change again. You do the right cross. What I would like to do is like this, and then bang. Or at the same time, if I know that he tends to drop this hand, and he's trying to hit me with a cross, I would just hit this over. So always keep your left hand tight in your guard when you're doing the right cross. Okay, we're not done yet. So, yeah. Another cool thing to remember is you always want to keep your front leg in front of you. I don't want to have my chin over that knee. If I'm punching and my chin goes over this knee, I'm off balance, and he can counter me after the punch because I'm going to be on this side. Or some people also just tend to lean their head forward, and I'm very exposed to his uppercut if I'm punching like this, bang. To do it correct, you have to get this left shoulder to cooperate with your right shoulder. So when I'm punching my right cross, my left shoulder is moving back so that when I land the punch, I'm in this position right here. But of course with my left hand in the guard. So don't tense up. Don't do the cross like this. This will hinder you from getting full power. So I'll show this again from this side. You want to turn with the punch. You want to get your full body with you. Don't tense up like this. This is okay. Is there anything I forgot? Do you remember anything else? Common mistakes on the right cross? I think that covers most.
I had a student who had some weird things that I've seen. Not really a mistake, but not good habits. You know, he would punch and he would throw his head like this. Don't do this.
Thank you.
Always keep your eyes on the target, right? So don't turn with the punches. Definitely nothing of this.
Not like this, not like this. Always keep your head towards your opponent.
So what he says about moving the shoulders is really important. So the head stands basically still, and it's the shoulder who does the work.
All right. And also you want to turn, so you would land, you want to turn your fist over like this and hit with sorry about this, with these two knuckles. And also you get more power by turning. So when I'm here, I turn the twist over like this towards the end of the punch.
So another important thing about twisting the punch, don't put on the, is this. He twists and places it in my, that locks his shoulder. If we turn this back, his shoulder also becomes back and he becomes unstable. So this is to lock the shoulder in place. If you do like this, it loses its stability. So that's why the thumb is always down.
And this brings me to actually something very important. Like, you can do the technique correctly, but you have to do it in the right order as well. You don't want to start punching with your hand. You want the shoulder to do the work, because if I do punch too early, if I start swinging while I'm still turning, I will lose my precision on the punch. It won't be as precise. So if I started my punch here and then I turn, it's gonna go over to the side. So in order to get your punch to move in a straight line, you want to as I said, you start with the foot, you turn, you use your hip, you turn, I lock my hip into position, I turn, I have my shoulder in front of me, and then I extend. Okay. Now I think we're getting there. So these are the basic elements to the cross and what to do and what not to do. So the next point is, like, I've had a lot of different trainers, and some trainers will say this is how you do the technique, and some other will say this is the right way. My philosophy in martial arts is that it's not written in stone. Martial arts is not written in stone. You can have different ways to do the same technique. So we're going to show you two variations of the right cross. Now, the first one is the regular right cross, that where you turn, I have a bent knee, I'm up on my foot, my heel is up. This is the regular way to do the right cross. And if I'm putting my right cross in combinations, this is what I would have done. I don't dedicate too much to the punch, so I'm 1, 2, 3, for example. If I'm not finishing with my right cross, I would probably have a little bit bent knee here. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the regular way to do a right cross, but the other way to do the right cross is where you don't bend your back leg. You have this leg straight, and I'm not up on my toes, and I drop my body weight. This is the holleteme. And this generates a lot more power. The reason for this is when I'm not up on my toes, well, let's see, when I'm punching up on my toes, if Michael pushes me here, it's easy for him to get me off balance. So if I'm using speed, it's fine because I'm not going to stay in the same position, and I'm not trying to punch as hard as I can. But if I am punching as hard as I can, I don't want to be off balance. So I want to punch, and then I want to lock my joints. So as soon as this leg is here, now I'm in position. And the same with the shoulder. I don't want to hit him while my shoulder is like this, because I'm not in a good position here. But I want to hit him at the furthest distance I can. Bam! Now, if he wants to push me, he has to push my whole body. So yeah, I'll show this from both sides. Also, just one more common mistake. A lot of people punch without transferring their body over to this side. And if I'm just standing still and doing the right cross like this, he can counter me very easily with his right hand, bang. So I want to always get my head and my head out of the center line. I want to move out of the center and punch like this. And this brings me to another common mistake people do, and that's where people lift their head up to see their opponent. I can see Michael from here. I don't need to double check like this. Bang! That's how you get knocked out. Okay, so I'm going to show the power cross. It starts from here. I turn, I'm waiting. As soon as I'm on this side and I've locked my hip and my shoulders into position, bam! I punch. Legger litt I nå. Okay, so when do you use the power cross and when do you use the regular cross? Yeah, very interesting question. Now, as I said, if I'm putting together lots of combinations, or if you're a kickboxer and you want to continue with a round kick after your cross, I would have my knee bent so that it's easy for me to turn. But if my opponent is off balance, he's he's dropping his hands, or I know that this is it, I want to go for the knockout punch, that's when I use the power cross. So you had a fine example on this. You can show, for example.
Sure. So the problem is, if I want to knock someone out, is that there's hands in the way. So I need to get those out of the way. So I would set up this straight with a slight step into the side. And now I'm going to move my body in towards the center as I do a hook. I want him to block it. And now I have a huge opening here. So now
bang,
I'll do the power punch.
Yeah.
So this is probably a very good example. I don't necessarily need to do the step, but I want an opening here. So I go boom, boom.
But sometimes you just want to hit your opponent hard as well. Okay, it's going to hit their guard, but if you want to scare them off, and I'm in my rhythm, I can just turn and do that power punch, bam, just to show him, just to intimidate your opponent. So yeah, you just have to know when to use the different weapons. That's it. One final variation of the right cross. This is also an exception to the rule. As we said, you don't want to punch without turning your body, but sometimes you do. I know, this is very confusing, but just bear with me. Now, because me turning my body will alert him to my punch, sometimes maybe you just want to throw with your arm and then adjust your body as you throw. This takes a lot of precision, but you can see Roy Jones does the right hand like this. You can see Julio Cesar Chavez knocks out Floyd's uncle with this with the right hand like this. So what I do, I just turn I just throw my punch, and as I throw my punch, I move my right leg with me. So if we're like this, we're boxing, boom! This put me very close to Michael, so it's a dangerous punch. If you see Roy Jones, when he does this, he throws the right hand, he steps, and as soon as he lands, he turns to his left side and uses his shoulder to cover up. It's a very sneaky punch. It's got a lot of power because you're just throwing your full body forward. But again, you can get off balance. If you miss, you can walk straight into his right hand. If I'm like this and I'm not careful, he can counter me with his right hand. But these are different things you can do with the right cross or the right hand. Okay, so we're just going to finish off with some combinations with the cross. Yeah, you can start. Du kan ta hver kombinasjon fra begge sider. It's a combination, 1, 2.
Yep.
I like this one.
Kagari style.
Works.
Yeah.
Alright, so there you have some examples of combinations with the right cross. Obviously we didn't use the power cross to the full extent. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope this helps you in your fighting, in your martial arts. And if you have some other cool details on how you like to throw the right hand, or some cool combinations or anything, write us in the comment section. Yeah. Okay guys, thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Hello and welcome to Combat Guide episode.
I don't know.
You bet, son. God damn it.